Check out Paddy Power's new and exclusive Cash Card Plus, available to use online, at ATMs or even down the local. Paddy Power, you beauty.
Hello, it's Dave Clark of the Racing Post. This is the Racing Post Weekend Football Postcast, joined by colleagues Dan Childs and Mark Langdon in the studio. On the line, we've got Adrian Croker from Paddy Power, and Man City, fresh from their demolition job of West Ham Wednesday night, are hosting Swansea. Adrian, got some prices for us, please?
So City are 1-5 to win it. The draw is 11-2, and Swansea at the moment stand at 14-1.
And how do you see this one going?
Oh, I can't see it anyway. Man City were electric last night. They were phenomenal. Swansea have had a great two wins on the trot, but they have struggled all season. Yeah, I can only see a City win here.
And Mark, I turned it off last night after the third goal winning. I was pleasantly surprised to see that City only got 4, but from what I saw, it could have been double figures easily.
Yeah, I think they could have got close to double figures against Tottenham as well. In the previous Premier League game, they were. I thought they were even better that night than what they were at West Ham. I think Guardiola has found the team and the system now that he likes. Slightly surprised that involves Yaya Toure in front of the defence, but you're not asking him to run around anymore, which I think helps.
He's in from the cold, Toure,
yeah,
isn't he? Yeah,
you've got Silva and De Bruyne sort of can pick passes from deep, particularly De Bruyne. Yeah, he's finding more space the further back he goes, and he's picking out these passes for the speed of Sterling and Sane on the wings. And then, I mean, it was frightening for West Ham when Sergio Aguero came off the bench, with the game already up. I mean, if Aguero does sort of get in ahead of Jesus, you imagine he's going to be hungry and sort of determined. If Jesus plays, you've just got a phenomenal talent up there. I think Man City are the team that could lay down the threat to Chelsea if it's to come from anywhere. Just clean sheet wise, though, I mean, they've only kept 3 clean sheets in 15 home matches. 2 of those were in the Champions League against Gladbach and Steaua Bucharest. Swansea
going to park the bus, surely.
Well, I suppose they will, but I mean, they've got a threat from set pieces in Sigurdsson, so you don't actually have to do that much to get the ball into the City box. They scored a couple at Arsenal. They scored 3 at Liverpool. Not a great betting heat for me. I'm going to go City to win and both teams to score, which I know is against what Dan's about to say.
Yeah.
I've just seen his notes.
No, I know this doesn't look a good one on the stats because we've said about Manchester City's defence this season and that they haven't kept many clean sheets. But I'm looking for an angle on this. And I mean, when they started playing this team they're playing now with Toure in front of the back four, I worried for City defensively. I thought, is he going to give that back four enough protection? But what they're doing is they're defending right from the front of the pitch. The likes of Sterling, Sane, Jesus are really, I mean, they've been fantastic going forward, but they're working really hard as well, and they're defending from the front. And it's making it very, very hard for teams to get at City and to get at that back four because they're defending from the front. And I just think Swansea here, it's a game for them. It's a bit of a free hit, I suppose, but also they're going to be worried about taking a big battering. They've won 3 of the last 4 games. They're not going to want to go to City and lose, 4-5-0. I think it will be a game, might be a damage limitation exercise for Swansea. And I think City are keeping the ball so well at the moment and defending so well from the front that I don't see them conceding. And I think City wins to 0 evens is reasonable.
What do you think about Sterling? Sort of under the radar, he's just going about his business and seems to be sort of back to his best.
To be fair, he's been excellent all season. I thought right at the start, everyone was worrying about him after he had a poor Euros, but right at the start of the season, I thought he was one of their best players, and he's carried that on. I think some of their players have sparked in the last couple of months, but Sterling has been consistent, I think, all the way through.
Just lacks a bit of efficiency in the box, but I think he's getting better. His final sort of delivery, his final choice is getting better, and he's still only young. I mean, that front three last night, I mean, it could be City's front three for the next 10 years. I mean, it won't
around
be.
20, yeah, right.
The way that football works, it won't be. But very exciting times, and I think you can look at the way Mourinho treated Martial when he came back from a dodgy Euros. Took his shirt off him and gave it to Ibrahimovic and has sort of dumped him compared to how Guardiola has treated Sterling.
Put the arm around him.
And I think that's the difference in the 2 gaffers.
Right, we're on to the madness of Mourinho and Leicester City, who Adrian has already sort of given a mention to, are at home to Man United in the 4 o'clock game on Sunday. Adrian, got a show for us there, please?
Yep, Leicester are 4-1. The draw is 27-10, and Man United stand at 8-11 at the moment.
And as you've already mentioned, you're massively against United.
Yeah, it just seems too short to me. It's same as Stoke the last week. I don't think I'm not buying this Man United turnaround. The run they went on was winning against some of the weakest teams in the league. It still took them late for quite often. Yeah, I was agreement when Dan said earlier, Man United at sixth in the league. They are the sixth best team of the top ones up there. They're going to struggle towards the top four, and away games against a team like Leicester. Like Leicester have been poor this season, but the table doesn't reflect where they should be really.
And Adrian, I take it Paddy Power took the whole lot in midweek. I mean, you couldn't have asked for better results. I mean, virtually, nearly all of the top six messed it up.
I think Paddy picked the results himself. Like they couldn't have been better. They in no way could have been better. You know, you get the mix of a few draws in there, so you don't have all the underdogs win and somebody clicking a massive six-fold there either. But yeah. Could not beat those results for the weekend. So this weekend you'll probably see all the Favs win.
Mark, how do we see this game going? Leicester struggling?
They are struggling, yeah. I mean, they've been better at home. I mean, I suppose that's natural. Most teams are. But, I mean, they've sort of raised their level a little bit and beaten Manchester City, haven't they? But, I mean, I just see a very poor team. You know, if you take last season out of the equation, I know it's difficult to do, but I mean, the season before they were massively fighting against relegation, just got out of it late on. In the summer, most people expected them to be struggling. Now, of course, they went on to win the league, but now they're back struggling again. Just got to accept that last season was a complete and utter freak, as far as I'm concerned. I was heading to the goal scorer market here. I think Pogba gets forward a lot for United in. Particularly sort of in away games where Mourinho kind of plays him a bit closer to Ibrahimovic and likes to get the two central midfielders definitely in there. Pogba was he sort of went close a couple of times against Hull, looked as likely as anybody to break the deadlock. He of course scored at Hull in the League Cup as well. I know Paddy's the shortest in the world about Pogba to score the first goal, but that's where I was looking. I'm not Leicester in that position in front of the back four without Kante. It's been one of their big problems this season. I think someone like Pogba can take advantage.
Going forward, what sort of role do we see Pogba playing in that Man United side? Because he's played different positions.
He has played different positions. I think probably sort of almost as like the number 10. I mean, he's not a natural number 10 in his body shape, and you know he plays it differently to like say a Lanzini or somebody like that. But he's definitely getting forward. He has a lot of shots as well. You look at the shot stats. I mean, he's one of the highest shooters in the Premier League. Maybe doesn't always shoot from the right positions, it has to be said. But he, in sort of the words of Andy Gray, buys enough tickets. He buys enough lottery tickets, and it's a difficult game for me. I know the lads want to be against United. I'm not as convinced, but by that argument, so I'll go for Pogba to score first.
Dan Childs.
Yeah, no, I'm against United here as well. I think the double chance is the way to go. I look at, as poor as Leicester have been, 18 of their 21 points have come at home, so they are a lot stronger at home. They have, obviously in the Champions League on the big nights they've played well. They've actually done well against some big teams in the Premier League as well. They've got a draw at Spurs, drew at home to Arsenal, won at home to Man City. So it's a sign that maybe some of these players that won the title, they're raising their game sometimes for the big games and not
this
so
is
much
one
for
of them. Yeah,
this is a big game for them, and they didn't play terribly at Burnley in the week. I mean, Burnley's a really tough ground to go to this season. They would have got a draw if it wasn't for the poor decision, the handball that wasn't given there, that led to Burnley's goal. So they could have took a good point there in the week. And I just think United are really unconvincing at the moment. The 3 draws in a row in the league, 1 win in 5, and they just don't convince me as odds on away from home.
Okay, mixed views. Right, thank you, gents, for your time. And join us next Thursday. We've got a belter, Spurs versus Liverpool. Listen out on iTunes, SoundCloud. Catch us on YouTube and all sorts. And also keep a lookout for the Super Bowl and Six Nations podcast if egg chasing is your thing. And we'll catch you next week. Thank you very much.
Check out Paddy's new Kicker feature. If you fancy your team to run riot, add a kicker to your bet. And if your team win big, you win bigger. Paddy Power, you beauty.